China. For thousands of years, it's proclaimed its greatness and power by erecting some of the greatest monuments on Earth. And as China roars back to world power status in the 21st century, it's once again proclaiming its power in steel and concrete, glass and stone. But even in today's China, it doesn't get any more amazing than this. In Beijing, China's capital, workers are constructing one of the most astonishing buildings ever built. When Beijing lights the Olympic torch, the eyes of the world will be on the incredible National Aquatic Center, a gigantic greenhouse that heats and cools itself, with a skeleton so strong it could stand on end and shrug off an earthquake, and a wafer-thin skin that puts out its own fires.
Can you imagine building a building out of this? Essentially, we're building a building out of bubble wrap, you know?
I have to say it's perfect. Okay.
What the Olympic crowds won't see is the sweat, brains and guts that got this megastructure built. The struggle to believe in the incredible.
I think we're all a bit stunned, really. But you want to do what?
The lives put on hold.
My wife didn't want to speak to me for a while.
And the hard hat high wire acts 30 meters high.
It looks a bit crazy, but it is safe.
The National Aquatic Center's a visionary piece of eco-architecture and a brilliant monument to 21st century China. And it's also a tribute to a team that conquered fear and doubt and didn't quit until they'd made the impossible a reality. Beijing. Building materials arrive at a construction site. Hardly unusual in this construction-crazy town. But these building materials, and this building, are different. Really different. 90 kilometers of steel, 22,000 beams, following no conventional straight lines, a maze of metal. That's enough steel to circle more than 200 Olympic running tracks. And it's covered with plastic. 100,000 square meters of it, enough to cover 14 full-size rugby pitches, cut into cushions as big as 9 meters in diameter, but only 0.2 of a millimeter thick, nearly 8 times thinner than a penny. Officially, it's called the National Aquatic Center, but in the world of mega-architecture, it's known as the Water Cube. It's a fantastic honeycomb that looks as light and fragile as a Tinker Toy. But in reality, it weighs 6,500 tons. That's almost as heavy as all the metal in the Eiffel Tower. And inside its walls and ceiling, nothing but air. There is nothing else like it. Who came up with this amazing building? Engineering team leader Tristram Carfrae. Architects John Billman, Mark Butler and Chris Bosse. Fire engineer Marianne Foley. Structural engineer Mark Arkenstall. Building modeler Stuart Bull. Environmental engineer Heiko Scheppers. Chinese design team project manager Yi Hongtao. Part of a 100-strong architectural and engineering dream team. A team that envisions the original, the astonishing, and the apparently impossible, and made it into a megastructure. Sydney, Australia, 2002. The architectural firm of PTW and the structural engineers of Arup Australia team up with a Chinese consortium led by China State Construction Engineering Corporation and go after one of the world's most coveted construction contracts. From day one, the pressure's on, because they're literally racing the clock. A giant clock in Beijing's Tiananmen Square, counting down the hours and seconds to the 2008 Summer Olympics. China has invited the world's greatest architects and engineers to transform Beijing into an Olympic host city like none ever seen. The Chinese-Australian team's goal: to design and build the Olympics' prestigious swimming venue. And right away, they run smack into a heart-sinking challenge. The Olympic National Stadium, aka the Bird's Nest. A mind-blowing masterpiece only 1 kilometre from the site where the swimming centre would stand.
When we saw the stadium design, and we thought, oh, jeez, how can we match this? You know, we were going to set our aims to create a building that was equal to the stadium, and then we saw the stadium design, and I think all our hearts fell on the ground for that moment. We just thought, oh.
The team searches for a design that will knock the judges' socks off. And searches, and searches, and searches. And then, after nearly 6 weeks of failure, and with the completion deadline looming, the eureka moment. Soap bubbles. Despite their random appearance, soap bubbles always cling together in regular patterns, in 12 and 14-sided cells, nature's most efficient division of space. And despite their flimsy look, an infinite array of connected soap bubbles has a geometry that's just right for